Hey, you guys. Great morning. Great morning. Come on in. Come on in. Come on in, you guys. While I make my power cocktail. Come on in. It's Sunday. It is Sunday. Come on in, you guys. Let me know who's here and where you're tuning in from. Let me know who's here and where you're tuning in from. I need this. I'm not hungover, but I definitely need this. Great morning, April. How are you, gorgeous? You guys come on in. Mm, boy, I feel like refreshed. I need all the refreshing, honey. This life of mine, honey. Girl, I know that's right, honey. I know the girl multitask, honey. Multitask. Mm, you've been doing your thing, honey. I'm so proud of you. So, you guys. Mm. This morning I woke up and oh, you guys go ahead, share the live. Let me know when you shared. Share the live and let me know when you shared. It's Sunday morning. Y'all, I feel like, whoo, I feel like that's what I feel like. Like it's, yeah, like I've been doing a lot. Probably because I have. Um, listen, when I woke up this morning, I really was like, okay, first of all, I don't know what time I woke up. I don't know. I thought it said one something. Apparently it didn't say one something. I don't know. Because my time was like off. Good morning. Good morning. So you guys, yesterday was a very full day for me. I had my interview for the Dr. USA pageant. We're still waiting on the results. I think the results are coming tonight instead of this morning. I think. I'm not sure. But I think they're coming tonight. It's going to start at 8 p.m. and they're going through Dr. World first. I think that's right. And then Dr. USA and then Dr. America. Something like that. I don't know. I don't know. But it'll start tonight at 8 p.m., I think, Eastern Standard Time. When I know for sure, I'll let you guys know. Thank you guys for your support. I appreciate it on this journey as Dr. Florida USA. It has been an amazing time. Good morning, Stacy. So last night, yesterday, I did my interview. I came on a few times yesterday. I shared quite a bit with you guys yesterday. So I shared in the morning in the Prophetic Drive-By. If you didn't watch it, go back and watch it. It was powerful. There were lots of nuggets in it. Like, you're going to love it. And then it came on after my interview. That was also very impactful. Um, and it was short. It wasn't very long. And then I came on later at the gala. Amazing time at the gala. The music was great. The food was amazing. The people were incredible. So I really had a good time at the gala. And then, y'all, and I think that's what I'm going to share with you is really part of what sparked today's word, because you have lots of people that come into your life or in your life. And I just know this. I know that God is really impressing upon me the importance of making time while you have time, making time while you have time, making time for people that you may not see regularly, but that you love, that you enjoy. Um, while you have time. I don't know all of what's getting ready to happen in my life. I don't know all of the changes my life is getting ready to go through, but I feel like I've got major changes coming. And so while I have time, God has been like, no, make time, figure it out how to do this, right? Hey, Vicky, good to see you, beautiful. So I was at the gala, and originally listen, I had several plans, right? But the plans were not planning. So initially, I was going to stay with one of my cousins. We hadn't met yet, but she got sick. I'm talking about she got sick, sick. So, and then I was going to stay with Jackie again, but Jackie was like an hour in the opposite direction from where I'm going. And I said, Lord, I don't know what you're doing, but whatever you're doing, I'm here for it, right? Well, one of my sisters, y'all know I got a lot of sisters, right? But one of my sisters, she is the younger sister to one of my exes, right? Um, but became my sister independent of our relationship. We've been trying to get together, saying we were going to get together. And so last night I reached out to her and we ended up doing a little slumber party. Now listen, she trying to stay up all night. Girl, I'm not staying up all night. It's 12 o'clock. I'm gonna go to sleep. But I made time to come and spend some time with her because I hadn't spent time with her. And we've been trying to do something, trying to take a trip, trying to do something, and we hadn't. And so I wanted to make sure that I got some time with her. And I'm so glad I did. You don't know how your journey will impact other people. You don't know how your transparency will, impact other people. But we were talking and we were talking about my journey and finding my biological dad. And she knows my family. She knew my dad, my mom, my siblings, my children. She knows my family. She knows my ex. I remember she came and stayed a few weeks with us, and see, this is why when people talk about not being friends with exes or when relationships end, cutting all the family off because you don't want to carry it over into a new relationship. I get what people are saying, but for me, family, like when people become my family, I don't just cut them off because the relationship ended. Now, if that's the natural evolution of it, I'm fine with that. Like, however it goes, I'm fine with. But I've dated people and their kids like still absolutely love me and I love them. And we talk and we're connected. And, I'm not saying that we're always together or anything like that, but my concept of family has been so stretched because it's had to be. When I left home at 17, I began to build family wherever I went. And wherever I went, I had family because I created family. I'm a family creator. I believe in those familial bonds, and my classes become like family. I'm serious about that. Like, we literally build bonds because I think that it's very important for us as human beings to learn how to build bonds with people. It doesn't mean everybody's going to be your best friend or you're going to spend all your time with everybody. Like, it doesn't mean that, but it means that you learn how to build human connection. And I think that because of our hurt, our trauma, and our experiences, we try to be as disconnected and independent from other people as possible to avoid being hurt. Well, some would say it is my desire to build family that has led to a lot of heartbreak. And I'm not even talking about just romantic heartbreak, I'm talking about friendship, business, um, and family, right? And romantic. But I'm not willing to sacrifice that. You see, what I know is that everyone that comes into my life for a reason, a season, or a lifetime, right? Now, yes, some of them will be just a reason, some of them will be just a season, and some of them will be a lifetime. But those lifetime connections, it doesn't matter where they came from or how they started. What matters is that they started. And my relationship with Amanda is one that involved a lot of me being a big sister. She doesn't have a big sister. So I became her big sister, the big sister that she never had. And um, we related in a lot of ways. And I could relate because listen, we met when her brother when her brother and I were together. She was a teenager. She was in her early teens, like 13, right? Just stepping into adolescence. And she needed someone that she could talk to, someone that she could be transparent with. And I became that person, and she loved me. Not more than she loved her brother, honey. Listen, let me tell you something. Not more than she loved her brother, but she loved me. I remember one time her brother and I got into a fight. She was so upset with me. And I can't believe you did that to brother. I said, listen, your brother's lucky that's all I did to him because I wanted to do some more. And if I could have, I would have. And I'm telling you that. Period. Hey, but we made it on the other side of her brother and I fighting and breaking up. And, she knew her brother was a hoe. She knew that. She saw it for herself. But, like a good sister that loves her brother, she would be on the side of her brother. Girl, that's all right. Because listen, I'm on my side. Okay. Brother get hurt fooling with me. But to be able to have the honor. See, this is what y'all don't get. It's an honor for God to choose you to place in people's lives during times when they need someone. That's an honor. And I'm not talking about people sucking the life out of you, but I'm talking about God's children who may be at a very crucial point in their life, and then God inserts you into their life. That's an honor to be chosen by God, to be used to minister to his children, to his chosen ones, to his daughters, to his sons. I don't take it lightly. And maybe that's why I deal with relationship the way I deal with relationship. It was so funny because last night we called the kids, we FaceTimed the kids. I FaceTimed my dad, so she got to see my daddy. So she was talking to him and she met him. And then we called the kids so that she could talk to some of the kids. Now, she was really in my life heavy when my oldest boys were young. And so she, spent a lot of time with my older boys, my oldest and my next to the oldest, Travellis and Daquan, because they were little when her brother and I dated. And this is another thing, y'all. Let me tell y'all something because I didn't realize this. Okay, so and I'm gonna get back to what I was saying. But when he and I dated, I was coming out of a marriage, and God used him to really provide a safe place for me. He really provided a safe place for me. I'll always love him for that, but he provided a safe place for me, and a safe place and a place where I could do my dissertation. Like I was literally at the point where I was getting ready to do my not my quals. I was getting ready to do my qualifying exams. I was getting ready to do my qualifying exams and work on my dissertation. And so he came into my life in a very pivotal time, a time when I was on the verge of a breakdown, like literally on the verge of a nervous breakdown. It was so much pressure. I was feeling so much pressure, and had made the decision to leave home. And in making that decision, I left everything. I left the boys there so they would have stability because I had no clue where I was going. I just knew I needed to get out in order to save my sanity. Got a lot of judgment for it. But I knew I had to get out. I knew I had to put myself in a place where I could think. I couldn't think. I was overwhelmed. My ex at the time, he and I were fighting, and I was a fighter. No, I'm gonna fight you. I'm gonna fight you like a man, right? I was so frustrated in the relationship that I was violent. I was violent. I'm not talking about him being violent. It was domestic violence and I was the abuser. Let me say it like that. And I was taking my emotional frustration out physically because I wanted him to hurt like I was hurting. And it wasn't working emotionally. So, I went to the physical. Okay. So, it was a lot but I knew that I had to do something. If I didn't do something, I was going to lose it. And I remember going to a counselor and talking to the counselor because I knew I needed help. Y'all listen, and I had very bad, and I didn't understand it then, but I had very bad um, depression. I mean, and it was horrible. Right around the time of my cycle. When I tell you that I could not control my emotions around the time of my cycle, like when I tell you that when people talk about that, um, oh, I can't remember what they call it, but it's around PMS, right? But it's really bad, like really bad depression and anger and stuff. Like it was bad. And I had to like I had to shift my circumstances because if not, somebody was gonna die. And it was not gonna be me. And y'all know what I say. I was gonna be in jail. I was gonna have a whole prison ministry and a girlfriend, okay, to protect me. Um, so I knew I had to do something. I had to do something for me. I had to do something for my kids. I had to do something for him. And I did. So I left and ended up staying with the girlfriend. But this man came into my life and he really like saved me. My marriage was done. I'd already left. He didn't break up my marriage. It was none of that. He didn't even really want to talk to me. He was like, I don't talk to people that are married. I know you're separated, but you're still married. Boy, bye. Um, he broke a lot of his rules with me. Um, but that relationship was a crucial relationship in my life. It was the relationship where I learned how to love, period. Like really love, where I opened myself up, you know, and allowed myself to love. It was the first time I'd really been with a man that was my intellectual equal. And it was amazing and incredible. And what better time for that to happen than when I'm in a stage where most people don't understand. Most people wouldn't get the qualifying exams, the dissertation process, the stress of it, you know, the world of academia and all the stuff that goes with it. I was with a man who actually got that part of me. And it was amazing and it was incredible, but he was still a hoe. so there was that, right? But I absolutely loved him. So our relationship connected me to some people, right? It connected me to some people that I'm connected to this day. People who were his best friends who became my friends, right? And we're not best friends, but we stay connected, right? And we're able to love and value each other. So his sister became my sister. I didn't realize how much he cared for my sons. Um, he didn't have kids. And in his mind, he was never going to date a woman with kids, or, you know, he wouldn't marry a woman with kids. Like in his mind, like he has some very rigid rules, right? But when we broke up, when we finally broke up after years of going back and forth in and out of the relationship, heartbreak, um, my heart was broken several times in that relationship. And I remember I moved to Nebraska and we had broken up. Listen, I tried to kill myself behind something that man said. Okay. That's how much an impact he had on my life. It devastated me that he would say that to me. And I remember I had a whole funeral for our relationship, burned pictures and everything. So that's why I don't have no pictures of us. I burned them all at the funeral. I burnt them up, baby, because baby, I love that man. So people were like, "Oh my God, girl, girl, you got to do something." I'm talking about I was devastated and I was crushed. Like I loved him. Like, oh my God, I love that man. So it's so interesting to me because I did not real I felt like he felt like, and he was never mean to my kids or anything like that. He was always good to them, but I felt like he felt like my kids were in the way. That's how I felt, right? So later, after we broke up, he came to Nebraska to ask me to marry him, and I was like, "No, I'm with somebody. I love him." I didn't, but anyway, I wanted him to pay. You know, took me through all this hell, and you think you just gonna show up with a darn ring, and it's no, no. And so I was determined I was gonna get him back. I did a lot of things to get him back. I'm gonna show him, right? I tried to kill myself because I'm gonna show him, right? I rejected him because I'm gonna show him, right? Whole time only hurting me, right? I'm not saying it didn't hurt him, but it hurt me too. Ridiculousness. That's some of the toxicity that we have sometimes in our minds and in our relationships. But when we broke up, it took the boys away from him. And it was only in the last year that he said something to me where I realized how much that impacted him. Like that really impacted him. Like he had, you know, he fell in love with my boys, loved my boys, looked at them as his. I didn't know he looked at them as his. I didn't know that, right? Um, but after that, he made the decision that if he dated someone with kids, that he wouldn't connect to the kids because it hurt so bad. I had no clue. I had absolutely no clue that he felt that way about my boys. And my boys loved him, especially my oldest son. Like, of all the people that I've dated and I've been married to, like, to this day, my son is like, I rock with him. Like, I love Ricky. You know, I was like, what? What? Like, you remember him like that? He was like, yeah, he was always good to us, you know? Um, I had no clue. So this is why I say, you know, we've got to understand that when God places you in people's lives for whatever time frame, don't feel like you've got to destroy, you got to burn the boat. Listen, I get it. I get it. The relationship is over. You know, I get it. But I'm telling you this because last night, after I talked to the kids, you know, Amanda was talking about my ex, and she was like, and Ron, remember, because she calls me Ron, remember I used to say Rick looked like Nelly. Now he don't look like Nelly to me, but that's what she said. He looked like Nelly. And I said, okay. I said, well, let me go on and call him so she can talk to him and stuff. So I called, and you know, we were talking, and she said, I love y'all's relationship, you know, because y'all, I love how y'all have been able to stay friends. Now, for some people, that's problematic. They don't understand it, they don't get it. But I don't have time to be having a whole lot of animosity. And as long as you respect my boundaries and I can respect yours, we can be cool. Like, we've got children together and grandchildren. We're going to be connected to each other for life, for life. Like, it's not going to just disappear, not going to just go away. And I don't want to have contentious relationships. And so for me, it is very important to be with someone who understands family and who can understand that. Now, not with disrespect. And that's so funny because I told him, I said, Rick, you know, I'm not always going to be able to stay here because if I go into town, because all the kids are there, I will stay there. You know, a part of the time I'll stay there because it gives me a chance to be with the kids daily, the grandkids daily. A lot of men wouldn't understand that. They wouldn't get that. They would think that something was going on with us, but there's absolutely nothing going on with us. Like, I have no desire for anything to go on with us. Now, he might have a desire for something to go on with us, but I don't. And so, as long as he respects that, and we're able to do what we do as it relates to the kids and the grandkids, I'm fine. I don't trip off that. But relationship is important. You know, I think we throw a lot of people away. And I think we throw a lot of people away because we haven't learned how to be mature in our exits from relationships. We don't know how to be mature. We haven't seen good examples of maturity in exit. What we've seen is a lot of toxicity in exit. We see people exiting relationships in ways that rip apart whole families and communities and all of this. Sometimes you got to count your cost, and you got to say it's done, and you got to walk away before it gets bad. You know, I believe that God gives us a gift of goodbye, but goodbye doesn't mean I wish you were dead. Goodbye doesn't have to mean I'm going to try to destroy you. It doesn't have to mean that. Sometimes it does, right? Because of how people respond and act, but it doesn't have to. Listen, if we would leave when we know we're supposed to leave, instead of trying to stay and stay and stay and stay connected until there's nothing left for you to hold on to, and now you're at the point where you want to destroy one another. See, this is what's so. on social media right now, there's this whole thing going on with LA Truth and Mrs. LA Truth, right? And they're going through some things, and there's some allegations of domestic violence. And he's saying that he didn't abuse her, or he didn't hit her, or he didn't whatever. And she's saying, yes, you did. Now listen, let me tell y'all something. This is the thing, and I'm real firm on this. I don't believe in men beating women, but I also don't believe in women hitting men. Listen, I know, because I've been that woman. I've been that woman, okay? So I told y'all that I used to fight my husband. Like, I hit him. I hit him. Did y'all hear what I said? I hit him with hangers. I threw a lamp at him. I pulled a knife out. I was going to cut him. I did that. Did y'all hear me? I did that. If that may, in fact, he did hit me one time. So my ex hit me one time. And not the ex whose sister I'm with, not the ex who is the father of my youngest kids. But this was my first husband. Let me tell you something. I was fighting that man. I was mad because we had to move in with his family. I was so mad. And then he had said some foolishness, and I was so pissed at him. I wanted to hurt him. And so we're at his mom's house moving in, and I just went off and I started hitting him and hitting him, kicking him, like pissed off, angry. Was I pregnant at the time? Yep, pregnant. So I slapped his face so hard, his glasses flew off, and he slapped me back. Pow! I said, oh. But guess what? I didn't do no more. Slap him. Yo, listen. As women, we cannot be putting our hands on men thinking they're supposed to just let us put our hands on them, and then crying domestic abuse, domestic violence. There are people who are legitimately out here being beaten for no reason. So when you sit up and you provoke a man and you keep talking and hitting and all of that, and y'all know our mouths be slick, don't know how to stop, want to keep going and going and going and going and going, and push buttons until you push someone to the point where they've lost control. Now, I'm not saying that's all domestic violence situations, but what I'm telling you is there's differences. So this is what I'm saying. So this couple, they got some stuff going on. I don't know what happened. I wasn't there. Okay. I don't know. But what I do know is it's tearing apart their family. It's tearing apart their community of people, and it's tearing apart people that never even met the people on social media, because people know what's going on. They know. I know. Well, listen, if you aren't there, if you weren't there, if you haven't been a part of their life and their experience, you don't know. You know what you've seen on social media. You know what you interpret things as being. Okay? People who knew us would not have thought that I was hitting him or that I would initiate stuff, physical altercations. They wouldn't have believed that about me. But I was. Like, for real, I was. And I know I was. And my mouth was treacherous. Man, and I tell you, that's why that man don't have food with me now. And we got a hotel together. He's like the only one of my exes where it's like, he's like, I'm good. We get along. We get along for the kids, but he don't really mess with me like that. And I apologize. I was like, I'm so sorry that I did that. Da, 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 da. He's like, F that. I ain't risking it. Hey, how you doing? That's him. He's gone. Yes. I have to be transparent because, listen, as women, we have a lot of power that we abuse, and it's not okay. It's not okay for you to hit that man. It's not okay for him to tell you, hey, listen, just stop talking. Just stop. And you're like, I'm not gonna stop talking. You can't tell me what to do. It's my mouth. I can do what I want to with my mouth. So I will keep talking because I can. And blah, 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 blah. And you got to get all in their face. You got to put your hand in their face and stuff. So when they move you back, you're like, oh, now you put your hands on me. So freaking dramatic. So when I look at situations, I'm not always just going to side with the woman, because I know some of the stuff that we do as women. I know I've done some of it and I've witnessed some of it. So look, you can miss me with this automatically the man is guilty, automatically the man's at fault, automatically. No, I don't do that. I don't do that. I don't do that. I don't do that when it comes to domestic violence, and I don't do that when it comes to rape and sexual assault. I don't do that because I've seen too many women do too much with it. So I withhold judgment as much as possible because I know that if you don't have all of the information, you can easily find yourself messing someone's whole life up off of assumption, off of what you think. I'm not with it. So creating these relationships and these, I don't know how I ended up here. Listen, that was not my plan, but since I'm here, I'm gonna say what I gotta say. You know, I never thought that I would be in a domestic violence situation that I wasn't doing. Like I just, like, it was some things that I just wasn't going to allow. And no, I wasn't in an abusive relationship or abusive marriage where hands were put on me. I wasn't. But I definitely was in an abusive marriage. It was verbally, emotionally, spiritually, psychologically abusive. It was. And I got a new understanding of what it's like to be on the other side. So my empathy level for women in abusive relationships changed because I had experienced it. Like, I didn't understand why they didn't just leave. Just leave. Like, because, you know, I'm the queen of just leave. Just leave. But it's different. It was different. It hit different. It moved different. And it destroyed a lot of relationships. So when the relationship ended, I lost a lot of relationships. There are some positions you can occupy in your life that when a marriage ends and you occupy that position, like, it tears your whole life apart. And that's when you're a pastor and a first lady. That's a different kind of relationship and a different kind of ripping. It doesn't matter what was done. Okay. When that marriage is over, you lose not just the family that you built, but you lose your spiritual family, the people that you fought for, the people that you prayed for, the people that um, you thought would be there for you, even though they know he's wrong. They know that he did some stuff that was way out of pocket, but that's their pastor. So they kind of have to, and not have to, but if they're going to stay there, they let go of the first lady. That's something that I didn't understand until I went through it. You all, this is why I say we have to make time while we have time. You don't know when the last time you're going to be able to spend time with someone or tell them how you view them or how they've impacted your life or that you love them or that God loves them. You don't know what things, what situations and what circumstances are going to occur. But look, do this. Live your life like it may be the last time you ever get to see a person. Love on them like it may be the last time that you ever get to see them. Tell them what they mean to you like it may be the last time you ever get to say it, because it may be. I'm determined. I'm in a season of my life where I'm making time while I have time. You know, I'm trying to connect and see and love on and be there. And I can't do it for everybody and I can't do it all the time because I definitely still have my life, my mission, my purpose. But the beauty of driving across this country, because that's what I feel like I've been doing, is that I get to make time to see people that I love on my way to see people that I love. And that's an important thing. Look, I talked about a lot today. What I really wanted to say to y'all is make sure you're making time. Now, listen, today, Today I'm doing No More Sabotage. If you haven't registered, there are a few spots left. There's a few spots left for No More Sabotage, part 1 and part 2. I've got both of them happening today. Go register. Payment plans are available. Part 1 starts at 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Part 2 starts at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So we get a little break in between, but go register. Go register. Hey, woman of God, how are you, Apostle? Good to see you. Go register. If you're tired of being stuck, if you're tired of self-sabotaging, if you've not been able to get to the place in your life that you know that you're called to be, you may be engaged in some self-sabotage. Find out what those saboteurs are, those self-sabotaging behaviors. They used to help you when you were a child, but now they're hindering your forward advancement, or you totally breaking all the way through. Listen, the classes are only $75 each. If you do both of them, part 1 and part 2, you can get it for $140. Again, Afterpay is available. You can pay with Afterpay. Listen, you can't beat what's going to happen. It will literally change your life. It's changed mine, and everyone who's gone through, their life has been changed as a result of it. The testimonies are incredible. The things that they've been able to do now is amazing. Watching how they show up now is incredible, because now they're aware of when those saboteurs try to show up and they shut them down. Listen, I'm telling you, it changes the game. It is a master key to success. A master key. Now I'm telling y'all, there are a lot of keys, but this is a master key. And I don't just say it lightly. I say this with all of my educational background, my psychological background, my background spiritually. Baby, this right here, this is the master key to your breakthrough. I'm telling you, it's like it incorporates all the other stuff, right? And of course, I do it from a psychological, natural, and spiritual perspective. So I'm gonna deal with all of that, right? And we're gonna break through things that people haven't been able to break through in years of therapy. They're understanding and breaking through with this class. I'm just saying, I'm not saying that it's designed to take the place of therapy, but baby, it's going to help you make your therapy much more effective, right? You'll be able to use the tools that you have gained from it. So go register, https://bit.ly/no more sabotage. Go register so I can send your information out. You got some assessments that you need to do before the class starts, and I want you to be able to do it. But you can get part 1 and 2 all today in one felt swoop. Baby, this is the ultimate boot camp, baby. It's going to cut it up, baby. You're going to be beast mode after this. The devil won't be able to hold you back, because you'll know what tools he's using, and you'll know how to cut him down, kill him, cut the head off of the snake, right? So look, y'all, go register. Join me at 9. At 9:30. At 9:30 for let me see, is this clock right? Yeah, join me at 9:30 for Passionate Pursuit of Manifested Purposes Ministries. It is our fellowship. I don't know what word the Lord gonna give today, but I know it's gonna be a good one, because that's just what he does. Okay. So join us for that. Listen, know that I absolutely love you guys. I love you to life, and life more abundant. I pray that the word has blessed you. If the word blessed you and you feel compelled to sow a seed into the woman of God, sow that seed. Go to Cash App $DRV Walters, Cash App $DRV Walters, or PayPal.me/DRV Walters. And guess what? Y'all listen, your girl is getting stars now. So you can also support me by sending me stars. Purchase some stars, send me some stars. It allows me to get stars, accomplish goals, and it supports my ability to continue to create content that you can benefit from. So if you benefited from the content, sow a seed, drop some stars, do something to let me know that you value this content, so that I can keep making content that impacts your life. Listen, I absolutely love you guys. I love you guys to life, and life more abundant. Have an absolutely amazing, incredible, and epic day. I'll see you back at 9:30. Be blessed. Mwah.